Welcome back to episode 2 of Crash Talk Fantasy. I'm your host, Ben Lynch, and I'm here with
Jarett Hackney
and a special guest because AJ is not here today. He couldn't make it, so we have
Matt Bunton
on the mic.
No,
All right.
He's sick. I'm not sick.
All right. Let's start this off. We'll go with Player of the Week. Jarett, do you want to start?
Sure, I would love to start. My Player of the Week, unfortunately, I had to go against him in fantasy, was Jamar Chase. He got 10 receptions for 193 receiving yards, 2 receiving touchdowns, and 12 targets, dropping 36 points.
I mean, his production the last 2 weeks has just been the last 3 weeks, actually, has just been absolutely absurd.
Yeah,
you know?
he finally got on the same page with Joe Burrow.
35 points, 21 points, 54 points. I mean, yeah, that's just absurd. Him and Joe Burrow finally figured stuff out. And, I mean, season rank 4 right now in points, going from, like, dropping a 12 and a 7 the first 2 weeks. I mean, that's just absurd. It's crazy.
I feel bad for the people that tried to trade him week 3.
Yeah. The only sad thing is the Bengals still suck and can't win a game, even with him dropping 40 points every night. That's super sad. All right, my Player of the Week. I think we got to go with Big Kirko on this one. I mean, just what a performance that game. 42 of 58 passes for 509 yards with 4 touchdowns. I mean, come on. He did throw 1 pick, but it doesn't matter. They won 36-30. Bucks, I mean, Baker Mayfield, I like you, but you need to figure it out, dude. Like,
Get the chains out.
Get the chains out. I mean, he's swag surfing everywhere. Let's see. In my league, that was a 55-point game. That is insane from a QB. I mean, I'd just be happy. Fortunately, no one picked him up. No one has him on their team because it's Kirk Cousins.
My Player of the Week this week was also a Falcons player, is Drake London. He caught 12 of 13 passes, 154 receiving yards, and a touchdown. Went absolutely insane. I won't say how many points he got for me because my league has some weird scoring, but really amazing performance, and he's been doing good last few weeks.
Yeah. A player that, not really a breakout player of the week, but I'm still happy with after I said a lot of mean things about him last week and cursed him a little bit, but Kyle Pitts finally seeing some targets, finally making some yards. I mean, 16 points as a tight end, I'll really take that. 7 of 8 targets, 88 yards, cool. It's sad that he couldn't find the end zone on a few of them, but, I mean, we'll take it. We'll take an 88-yard game from him.
I dropped him for Kate Otten in my league.
That's a good trade, though, or that's a good drop. Jarett, what about you?
My player who I also played against this week was Joe Burrow. He had 5 passing touchdowns, an interception, 392 passing yards, an interception, and he had a great week.
My other player that I've actually been pretty high on, finally broke out. It's Rico Dowdle. He had 87 rushing yards, averaged a little over 4 yards per carry. He had 2 receptions, 27 receiving yards. He had a receiving touchdown. So for everybody in a PPR league, it's a dang good performance.
Okay, let's talk drops and acquisitions. Who are we dropping this week? Who do we not like? Because for me, I got one guy on my team that is he's gone. He's not going to be with me anymore, and that's Jawan Jennings. I mean, I picked him up. I got excited after that Rams game where he dropped a 50 bomb. I was really happy about that, but I was hoping he could keep the production going. I mean, it's just not been there. It's 13 points the next week. That's not bad. 2 against Arizona. I mean, especially with Kittle and Ayuk back, he's going to get less and less targets, and I'm dropping him. Picking up Darnell Mooney, though. I think that's a great acquisition if you can get him. A player that, I really think needs to be picked up if he's not taken your league yet is Kareem Hunt. I mean, the guy's just been electric lately. His yards after touch is just insane. He can run through 3 guys. I think a lot of Chiefs fans, when he took Carson Steele, expected him to have stuff, but he's had a real bad fumble problem lately. He has a hard time hanging on to the ball. I think Kareem Hunt just finds gaps and he gets good yards.
Yeah, agreed. Someone already picked him up in my league, but I probably will send a trade to get him because I would like to have him.
Well, that depends. Who are you thinking to trade for him? Who are your current running backs?
current running backs: James Conner, James Cook, Jamal Williams, and that's it. Oh, and Rashad White.
Rashad White.
Rashad White.
Yeah, drop him.
Should I try and trade Rashad White for him?
I don't think that's going to get accepted. I mean,
Let's
Rashad
try it.
White has so little upside with Bucky Irving, just playing better and better every week. I think he's already gotten his spot taken.
Yeah, but hey, if they accept, I'll take it.
This week, I would recommend that anyone who has him would probably want to drop Jerry Jeudy. He had a terrible game up against a bottom 10 defense against the pass. Just he's not consistent whatsoever. Personally, I would pick up probably Rashid Shaheed if he's out there. Probably not, but
Yeah, he's definitely not going to be out on waivers in any leagues.
some people don't have him. But the main guy I was thinking of is Rico Dowdle. Most people did not have him rostered because he's splitting touches, but he's clearly the lead back now, and I think that there's plenty of upside with having him. They were
Going-
clapping for us.
Going into sits and starts this week, who do we like? Who do we not like?
I would start Rashid Shaheed. He's coming off a good week, and he's playing against Tampa Bay, which is the 6th worst passing defense in the NFL at the moment, against wide receiver 2s. So I would definitely say play him on either your flex or your wide receiver spot.
I think going back to New Orleans, I mean, they run the ball 55% of the time, most in the NFL. I think it's pretty safe bet to start Kamara. I know the Bucs run defense can shut people down pretty easily, but I mean, Kamara just has that ability to explode. I think he could go up for a big week. Another big upside with that guy too is his receiving game. All right, let's be honest. He rushed for only 26 yards last game, but he did put together 6 receptions for 40 yards. I mean, and that's a trend that's been continued from the past week. 7 for 42 last week and 3 for 40, 2 for 65, and 5 receptions for 27 yards. I mean, they're just looking to feed this guy the ball.
A player I would suggest starting this week is Justin Fields going against a all-right Raiders defense. I mean, he's going to get a lot of pressure from Max Crosby, but I think Justin Fields is going to be doing good this week.
One more that I got is definitely start Jahmyr Gibbs against the Dallas Cowboys. He's been putting up very good numbers every week, very consistent. Montgomery, he's put up some crazy weeks and then silent weeks. So I definitely say Jahmyr Gibbs is a good bet this week against a horrific Dallas defense.
I mean, what I could say is Jahmyr Gibbs, definitely that's a must-start. But Jahmyr Gibbs or Montgomery could both be started. I mean, the harmony that those guys have in their running back room over in Detroit is just crazy. Like, not often do you get 2 running backs that work so well together and can still put up so much production while sharing snaps like that. I think it's absolutely insane. A guy that, I think his production is going to go up crazy is Alec Pierce. I mean, Alec Pierce, his only strong suit is catching the deep ball. So any team that he plays with a weak secondary, I would do that. Thank God Anthony Richardson is finally done. Joe Flacco coming out. I think he's throwing deep bombs. 3 for 3 on targets with 134 yards and a touchdown in the Colts loss to the Jaguars. And I think Alec Pierce has a major upside. And, well, like I said, I'd only start him against people that have really weak secondaries because, I mean, if he's running short routes or slants, if he's just not going, he's not going to catch the ball and he's not going to get yards for you. I mean, let's be honest, all his touchdown receptions this year have come pretty much off of 40, 30-yard or longer receptions. I mean, the first week, 2 40-yard receptions and a touchdown. After that, pretty much nothing. He had 5 receptions for 56 yards in week 2. No touchdown. I mean, yeah, literally his only touchdowns on the year are from 40-yard passes.
Mm-hmm.
One pickup that I'd go with, it's completely dependent on how we can expect Malik Neighbors to perform, but for sure, Darius Slayton, I believe that is. He put up great numbers last week, and he could definitely mimic the same thing, and I think he's definitely got better chemistry with Daniel Jones now after that win against the Seahawks, which for the record had one of the best secondaries, and he tore them up. Don't do that.
Seahawks, of course they always have a good secondary. It's the Seahawks. They know how to draft. They know how to add players for that area of the field. I think anyone starting wide receivers against the Seahawks, maybe just don't, because I think this was a flop. This was just a random week against Daniel Jones, and you can't be great all the time. And I think this is just one time that they weren't, and they're probably going to come back even stronger next week.
Yeah. Is Jarett's defensive picks. So, for my top defense, I believe that the Vikings is probably your best bet.
They have a bye week this week.
I know they have a
Not
bye
only
week.
do they have a bye week this week,
let me
but they just gave up yards last week in an absolute shootout with Jordan Love coming back into the game off of, 2 or 3 weeks of injury, and that's just,
Okay, but still, that was 8 points that got. For a defense, 8 points is pretty good.
They let him throw for 300 yards in a second half, Jarett.
Okay. Against the Jets with Aaron Rodgers, only 1 touchdown with 3 interceptions.
That game was close, though.
Yeah, but still, the Minnesota defense is a good defense. And if they're available, I maybe wouldn't pick them up this week, but next week, pick them up.
I'd say Jets defense is the best defense in the league, just putting up consistent. The first week against San Francisco, they had 2 points, but, that game was owned by Jake Moody, who just knocked down 26 points worth of field goals. That was absolutely crazy. But after that, against Tennessee, against New England, against Denver, against Minnesota, 10, 10, 10, 20, 11, 11. They're just so consistently double-digit points as a defense that I just think the Jets are the best defense in the league, in my opinion, fantasy-wise.
All right, my defense, which is a defense that you might be able to pick up at this point. My Yahoo Fantasy says they're only 15% rostered at the moment, but it's the Los Angeles Chargers. They have not failed to get a pick in every single game that they've played, and this week they are facing a kind of middle-of-the-pack team, Denver, but it is a rookie quarterback that they're dealing with there. Good pickup this week, and honestly, with how they've been performing, I'd keep them on roster maybe for a little bit.
Agreed.
Someone that I also like that's, prone to breakout weeks. Usually they'll give you a good 7+ points for a week, but Green Bay Packers, always good for a pick. Always get you a pick. They've had some breakouts against the Chargers, 13 points. It's pretty solid. Against the Tennessee Titans, 23 points and a 30-14 win. But other than that, they've been relatively mid, 7-7, 11 against the Colts, but it's the Colts, so you can't really count that one. Jarett, let's hear your hot take.
My hot take of the week. I think after Robert Saleh, how do I say his name? Saleh. My hot take of the week is after Robert Saleh got dropped from the Jets, I believe that the 49ers will pick him up and make him their defensive coordinator. He used to be on the Niners a while ago, and I just believe that he'd be a great fit to get this Niners team up, back, and rolling again.
My hot take of the week is no matter what the Niners are going to do, they will not get back up and rolling again. I think the Niners are going to stay down and get beaten, and I really, honestly, could see them not going into the playoffs this year.
My hot take of the week is Ben has the worst hot take of the week ever.
It's supposed to be a hot take, Jarett. That is a
Bro,
hot
the
take.
49ers don't miss the playoffs.
Until now. Last advice for fantasy owners this week. What are we thinking?
My hot take of the week is that both Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow will go back-to-back and lead the league this week in both passing yards and receiving yards together.
Okay.
Any last advice for our fantasy owners this week?
If you are going into this week 4-1 or above, I think you'll make playoffs.
Continue watching Nick Chubb. If it's not this week, it'll probably be next week. And I would definitely say start him when he gets back.
And as soon as he gets back, drop Jerome Ford. I mean, that guy
For sure.
sucks. I hate him.
Yes, trade Jerome Ford now if you can.
You hate a lot of players, man.
Yeah. Okay. So that'll wrap it up for this episode of Crash Talk Fantasy. Join us next week.
Thanks for watching.
Goodbye.